Namaste children, and a very good morning to all of you. Welcome back. And it's been a long time since we had a video lesson because we had first had our vacations and then we were doing some revision. And now we start with the next chapter, the new chapter, which is chapter number 4, Food and Health. As the name says, the food is related to our health, and we will discuss in this chapter how our food and health are interrelated, right? So the learning points for this chapter are: number 1, components of food. We will learn about the various types of nutrients present in the food, and the balanced diet. What is a balanced diet and what are its requirements? Why do we need a balanced diet, and what are the methods to make a diet a balanced diet, right? And the third point to be covered in this chapter is diseases. We will discuss the types of diseases, their causes, the symptoms and prevention, right? But in today's class, we will be discussing only points 1 and point 2. Point 3 we will be taking up in the next video lesson. Yes? Okay, so let's start with today's class. We'll start with number 1, components of food. Basically, before we go into the actual components, we need to know what is the term nutrient. What does it mean? The term nutrient means components found in food that give strength and help the body to grow. They give us strength and they help the body to grow. When you were born, you were a small tiny baby, but today you are such a big child, and I was also born a small baby, but today I am so huge. So what made my body to become big and grow? It was the food I was taking in. So the component in the food which help us to grow, the body to grow, and also the components which give us energy to do the work and keep us healthy and fit. Those components in the food are called the nutrients. And nutrients are mainly of 6 types. We have done earlier also: carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals and roughage. Yes? And we'll take them up one by one, each one of them. But before we go to the nutrients, we'll learn 2 new terms: macronutrients and micronutrients. So as the definition says, carbohydrates, fats and proteins are called macronutrients as these are required in large quantities. Our body needs lots of it. Whereas vitamins and minerals are called micronutrients as these are required in small quantities. Right? So basically, I need lots of carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and I need a very little amount of vitamins and minerals. A little amount is sufficient to keep me fit and healthy. So they are called macro. Macro means more, micro means small, right? Okay. So the first nutrient we talk about are the carbohydrates. We also call them the carbs. The short form, many places you hear people calling them the carbs. These are the main source of energy for our body. We need energy to do all the work we are doing every day. Right? So that energy comes from the carbohydrates. Rice, wheat, ripe fruits, bread, honey, sugar and potato are some foods rich in carbohydrates. And you must have noticed these are what make up maximum portion of the food we eat. Rice, wheat, chapati, then fruits, bread, honey. Many people take lesser amount, we take more of sugar. Potatoes, we all eat these on a regular basis, and that is why we get the energy to do our work, daily work. Next are the fats. Fats they provide energy to the body, but the amount of energy is more than carbohydrates. Butter, oil, nuts and ghee are rich sources of fat. Now let me explain a little more in detail what is the difference between carbohydrates and fats. You might say, ma'am, dono to hi energy dete hain, so what's the difference? Now let's say I gave you a bottle of paint, a small bottle of paint. You can have these poster colors. I gave you a bottle of paint and I said, with this bottle you can paint one full sheet with it. You can coat one full sheet with it, right? And the same size bottle, I gave you another bottle and I said, beta, this is a very concentrated paint. You need to mix water in it and you'll be able to paint 4 sheets with it. Right? Now basically the paint was there in a small bottle for both of them. Paint A and paint B. Let's call them paint A and paint B. So paint A, same amount, was able to paint only 1 sheet. right? Paint B, which was also the same amount but was able to paint 4 sheets. So similarly, if I take the same amount of food, the carbohydrates will give me lesser amount of energy as compared to fats, which will give me more energy. Yes, but the body cannot use the fat directly. It has to first convert the fat into carbohydrates to use it, and that is why you might say, ma'am, फिर हम 4 चपाती ना खाएं, 1 चम्मच घी या 2 चम्मच घी खा लें, it will be good enough for us, right? No, because the body will have to do extra work to convert it into carbohydrates and then use the energy. And generally what the body does is it does the reverse. It converts the extra carbohydrates into fats and stores them for later use. Basically the concept of storing food as fat came from the ancient times. If you go right now, our lifestyle is such, we know we'll get our breakfast, we'll get our lunch, we'll get our evening snacks, we'll get our dinner. It's all sorted out and fixed. Yes, but that was not the case in early times when man was a hunter-gatherer. You never know. Today I did not catch anything. I did not find any good trees around me with good food for me. I might not get food for a full day. Then what? Should I just faint and fall down because the whole day I did not get any carbohydrates? No. So what happened? The fat which was stored from the previous extra food would get converted into energy, and the person could survive for 2 to 3 to 4 days depending on the amount of fat in the body. So that was the concept of fat, why the body stores the extra energy in the form of fat. Yes, so carbohydrates and fats give us much more energy as compared to carbohydrates. Next we come to proteins. These help in the growth and repair of tissues. They also help in building muscles. Basically your proteins help to make more cells. And everything in your body is made up of cells. So it may be skin, may it be muscles, may it be any tissue. It needs cells, and those cells are formed by the proteins. Beans, pulses, fish, eggs, milk, cheese and curd are some food items rich in proteins. And we'll discuss, you must have noticed your mother telling you to drink more of milk, and she's after you to eat eggs and to eat cheese, right? Dal zarur khani hai. What is the reason behind that? Well, the reason is very simple. We just now talked that proteins help in the growth and repair, right? That means I need cells for repair also, and I need cells for growth of the body. Again, you were born small babies, you are such huge big children now. Why? Because the cells increased in your body. You're still growing children. I'll give you a very small example. Let's say you were trying to construct a house, construct a new house. So you will bring bricks in the terms of truckloads, maybe 4, 5, 6 truckloads of bricks are required to construct a new house, right? So right now you are in that stage. A new body is being built. So you need more truckloads of bricks. Yes, so in this case it is the proteins. You need truckloads of proteins for your body to grow, and that is why your mother keeps telling you to drink milk, to eat paneer, to have dal and all the eggs and all these things, so that you get more proteins and you become big and strong. But let's say you come to my age, where now my body is no more growing. My house is made complete, but some damage happened. I have to repair a wall in my house. Will I buy 6, 7 truckloads of bricks to repair my wall in the house? No. What will I do? I will buy just a small, maybe a cart full of bricks and use it to do the repair. Similarly, if today I get hurt, my skin gets damaged, my muscle cells get torn, they need to be repaired. For that I need new cells. So I need lesser amount of proteins in my body. I don't need large amounts of proteins. Small amount of proteins is enough for the repair of my body. So that is what growing children need more proteins, adults need lesser amount of proteins. This is clear? Right. So now we next one, which is vitamins. These are required in small amounts to keep our body fit and protect it against diseases. All fruits and vegetables, especially green leafy ones, and are rich in vitamins. And actually if you see, the name vitamins comes from 2 words. Vital and amines. VIT comes from vital. Amines are actually nutritive substances. So vital means they are vital for the functioning of your body, and that is why they are called vitamins. You have vitamin A, you have vitamin B, you have vitamin C, D, E and K and so on. Each vitamin has a specific role to play. Each vitamin will do a specific job and keep you healthy in a specific way. Right? The details of these vitamins we will study as we go to senior classes. Next are the minerals. These help in the physical and mental development of the body, keep our bones and teeth strong and healthy. Milk, cheese, eggs, fruits and vegetables are rich in minerals. So if you see, you have minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, sodium, zinc, phosphorus, etc. All these minerals are required again in small quantities but to keep you fit and healthy. For example, calcium is required for your strong teeth. Calcium, phosphorus both are required for strong bones. Iron is required for making new blood cells, right? Sodium helps in the excretion of water and retention of water in your body. How much water has to go out, how much has to be retained in the body. So they all have a specific role to play. Yes, so these are required in small amounts. We had talked of micronutrients, so the vitamins and minerals are micronutrients. Yes. So these were the main nutrient groups which we have discussed now, and they are very much required in our daily life, and we need to take them every day in our food. But there are some components of the food which don't give us any nutrition, right? They are not nutrients as such, but they are very important in our body, and they are: one is roughage. It is the undigested portion of the food. It adds bulk and helps in easy passage of food through digestive system. See, basically, if you have some small amount of something which has to pass through a tube, it might get stuck to the walls, it might take time to come out. But if it is a large thing, it will come out very quickly. So similarly, when I am having food, let's say I would say almost 70% of the food is not needed by the body, but we take it in. It adds bulk, helps the movement of the food till my gut, and even in the elimination or passing out of the extra undigested food. So that is very important for good digestion of the food, and that is what is roughage. Cereals, unpolished rice and grains, fruits and vegetables are some sources of roughage. Basically, fruits and vegetables, whatever we are having, are all very much rich in fibers. And also the cereals are those cereals you eat in the morning also, those cereals also. Plus cereals are also like wheat, rice, ragi, pulses, all these things, all the grains, right? And they are the important sources of fiber. And the last but not the least, water. It is required for almost all functions of the body. Everything in the body, even your breathing, you can feel the moisture in your breath. So even breathing requires water, speaking requires water. You need saliva in your mouth to keep your mouth moist, your tongue moist. So every action of your body requires water. We should drink plenty of water, at least 8 to 10 glasses daily, to stay healthy. Right? Even in the digestion of the food, in passing of the food through your body, absorption of the nutrients from the food into your body, everything requires water. Yes. So children, these were the important components, maybe nutrients or not non-nutrients, but they were all the important components of food which we need to take in. And but there is also something called a balanced diet. We've heard this term before also, and you all are aware what is a balanced diet. So in this section we will learn what is a balanced diet. Yes. So what is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is a diet that has all the components of food in adequate amounts. Is called a balanced diet. What do you mean by adequate? Adequate means just enough. So if I need let's say 5 milligrams of a nutrient and I eat only 2 milligrams, that is also less. And if I eat 20 milligrams, that is also wrong. It's too much than what my body needed, and that will also cause a problem in my body. So I need to have each and every component in the adequate or the right amount. Then it is called a balanced diet. A balanced
balanced diet is essential for the proper growth and functioning of the body. As I said, the right amount, when you will take in the right amount, the right job will be done, and I will be healthy and my body will grow properly. Right? And if let's say take any one component more, for example, if you take lots of fats, then what happens? We become obese or fat, and that also causes diseases in our body. It causes problems. Let's say we don't eat green leafy vegetables, apples, etc. We get a deficiency of iron. The iron component becomes less. It gives me a disease called anemia. So that is what we are saying. A balanced diet is essential for the proper growth and functioning of the body. And also, taking a balanced diet is absolutely important for our well-being. So if you want to remain well, fit and healthy, it is very important that we take a balanced diet.
Okay, so now we are talking of a balanced diet. Let's analyze one meal, any one meal. You all have food at home. So generally when you have food, what all do you have in the food? If we analyze a thali kept in front of you or a plate kept in front of you, you generally have sabzi, dal, maybe chawal and roti or any one of the two components, salad, dahi, right? These are the main things we have. Now let's take a one thing each at a time. Let's first take up rice or chapati. So they're the main sources of carbohydrates and a trace amount of vitamins, a very few trace amounts of vitamins. And mama puts ghee on the chapati, right? So that is the fat component which is coming in, because fats are also required. They provide lubrication to the body, to the joints and to the movement, right? Next we come to, let's say, the sabzi. The sabzi is made up of vegetables. So here we will have what? We will have the vitamins and the minerals. They are being taken in the form of sabzi, and also you have again some amount of fats going in because mama cooks it in oil, right? Let's say then after the vegetable we have dal. Dal is what? Pulses, provides what? Proteins, right? And again a little amount of fats. So you see our Indian food was very smart, a little bit of fat in everything. So we don't have to take extra fats anywhere, but we used to get everything over there. Next, let's take up curd. Curd is made from milk, and we generally say milk is a complete food. It has most vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, all components are there. So curd is very good for your stomach, and also it is very good for your intestines. It has good bacteria which helps in the digestion of food. So curd is very important. You should always have one bowl of curd along with your food in any form you like, right? And then salads. Salads are providing the roughage, right? And water. So all components taken care of. So our Indian diet is a very good balanced diet, right? And never refrain from eating a good balanced meal when mama gives it to you. And what happens? Mama does not give you the same vegetable every day. Aaj bhindi hai, tomorrow it's tori, next day it's maybe palak, maybe then someday it is aloo beans or something like that. So when the rotation of vegetables, because some vegetable is rich in some vitamins and minerals, some vegetables is rich in some vitamin and minerals. So what happens? You get a combination of all of them over the week, right? Okay. And let's look at this diagram. It's there in your books also. And the carbohydrates, they make the major quantity of food that we eat. As we had discussed some time back, bread, chapati, sugar, all these things make the major component, right? Next are the vitamins and the minerals. We need to have 5 portions every day. See, we need to have 5 portions every day. And if we go by 3 times, तो हम सब्जी खा ही लेते हैं खाने में, plus we have fruits maybe in the morning or the evening or some shake or something. So we generally have approximately 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, which comes from this group. Next are the proteins. You must have at least one serving, but since you people are growing children, you need to have at least 2 servings, and that is why mama ensures a dal at least once a day. At least once a day you have a dal, and then you may have something else to supplement the proteins throughout the whole day. And last, the fats and oils, you need to have a very small amount of these. Don't need to eat too much of fat, butter, cheese and ghee and all these things. We need in small quantities. Yes, so this is called the food pyramid. Why? The base is broad, so these things are to be eaten more, these slightly less, these even less, and this the minimum. That is why we called it the food pyramid. So now we know that what are the nutrients, how much of each nutrient we should eat to keep ourselves healthy, right? So is that enough to keep ourselves fit and healthy? No. There is something else we need to do to keep ourselves fit and healthy. And what is that? It is, in addition to balanced diet, we need regular exercise. It makes our bones and muscles strong. And we need to rest. Helps our mind and body to relax. Take, and last but not the least, sleep. We need to sleep for at least 6 to 8 hours every day, because then the mind shuts down, the body shuts down and gets a proper rest, and we are refreshed the next day for the next day's work. Yes? So with this we come to end of this today's lecture, and I hope you all have understood the importance of good diet, and along with good diet, the importance of exercise, rest and sleep. Many of us hold back on the exercise portion, and nowadays with lockdown in, many of you must be having a very sedentary lifestyle, but try to be more active at home. Maybe help your parents or just move around in the house more. Do a few exercises, jumping and this and that, which I'm quite sure Akhil sir and Pinky ma'am would be sending to you videos. So please do those exercises to keep yourself fit and healthy, and you need to take proper rest also. Whole day you will not be watching the screen. That is also bad for you. Just enough time, half an hour at a stretch, not more than that, and give breaks, and don't watch too many online serials etc. or shows etc. Less of gaming on the screen, more of gaming in the home, moving around, running around. Yes, so these were a few pointers, because nowadays the situation is slightly different, but otherwise in the normal times before all this happened, we were doing it properly. Yes, we were playing outside, we were doing, but since playing outside is slightly restricted these days, we need to add in a bit of physical activities in our day-to-day lives, right? And let's go to page 220 of your book. The hot questions are there on page 220. If you had been to a party and eaten a lot of junk food and sweets, how would you compensate for it in your other meals for that day? Basically, हमने एक टाइम पर बहुत सारा जंक फूड खा लिया, non-nutritious, not very nutritious, just lots of junk food. Junk, why? There is less nutrition in it and more of just food component which will just be thrown out from my body. So how do we balance it? By having a more nutritious meal the other time of the day. So I could have more of salads and egg and maybe proteins and some other things in my evening meal if I went to the party in the morning, or vice versa. I know I have to go to a party in the evening, so morning I will have a more nutritious meal so that it will compensate for the junk I will be eating in the evening, right? And the next one was, Manav mostly has a good diet but still feels lazy and gets tired easily. He does not exercise or play any outdoor games. He spends his weekends watching television or playing computer games. He often goes to bed late at night. What should Manav do to be fit and active? As we're just now discussing, exercise, rest, sleep. So if he watches a lot of television and does not play too many games or exercises, again, physical inability, which I was just now advising you not to do. So you should do a little more of exercise, maybe outdoors or indoors. Reduce the TV time or the screen time. And less of sleep also makes you tired the next day. If you don't sleep enough, 6 to 8 hours, you don't take a proper sleep, you will feel tired the next day. So he should go to bed in time and wake up in time in the morning and do his exercises. He will become much more fit and smart. Yes? So that's all for today. Thank you. And with this, we will be sending you a few questions to write in your notebooks. Please write the question answers in your notebooks. I hope you all are doing your work regularly in your notebooks. And that's about it. Stay home, stay safe, and be more fit and eat a balanced diet. Yes? And that's all for now. Bye and take care.